challenge an election. You should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election, and I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you could have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones, too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before. This is their way of campaigning. And this is one instance, but you have three other instances. It's election interference. So I want to thank you for being here. We did nothing wrong at all. And we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think it's very dishonest. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Hello, America. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program, the Friday chat. I will tell you that Donald Trump is going to be joining me next Tuesday. We're going to continue that particular conversation. It was a horrible week for the Republic. We've never seen anything like this. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it coming up in just a second. First, every day we hear about another familiar brand selling out their customers and going woke. Woke mobile companies are no different. For years, they've been dumping millions into liberal causes, and we've had to take it because you need a cell phone, and, probably thought there was no alternative. But I have good news for you. There is, and I want you to make the switch today. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider offering dependable nationwide coverage on all three major networks. So you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to in your area, minus the leftist propaganda. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending a message that you support free speech, religious freedom, sanctity of life, Second Amendment. Heck, our Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence. It's crazy. Switch to a company that believes in those things. 100% U.S.-based customer service team will make it switching easy. You can keep your phone, keep your number. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Beck or call 878-PATRIOT, 878-PATRIOT. Get free activation today. Offer code BECK. Okay, let me show you the picture, the mugshot of President Donald J. Trump. That's a impressive mugshot. He had to go in, first president that it's ever happened. He received a prisoner number as well. You couldn't humiliate more than they did yesterday. Couldn't interfere more with an election than they did yesterday. But this is just the beginning of it. Let's go to cut 2, please.
This is the inmate number for the former president of the United States. Is that a 0 or an O? P011-35809. Former president of the United States has an inmate number, and it's P011-35809.
For years, we have not done this. We should have done it to Nixon. I think we should have done it. There should have been some price for lying to the American people in Congress, but maybe not jail time. But certainly for the corruption that happened with Hillary Clinton as the head of the State Department, where she was taking top secret documents out of a SCIF, intentionally having her staff cut off the top that said top secret, and then fax them to her or send them to her on an open channel so she could have them on a server at home. That's espionage level kind of stuff. That is a severe crime. Forget about that. Benghazi, forget about that. At some point, people believe that if you're a D, you don't have to worry about crime. If you're an R, you really have to look out. That is exactly what happened here. the Donald Trump impeachment, the first one, was all about Ukraine. Well, what did he not want somebody looking into in Ukraine? Donald Trump, I don't think, realized that he was talking to somebody who is one step removed from the Biden crime family partnership. That's what they were doing. They immediately shifted, said he's trying to subvert an election. He is doing something shady here, when all they were doing was trying to hide what Joe Biden had done in Ukraine and many, many others in Ukraine. We didn't do this for years because this is why you go into a banana republic. The next step after this is what happened this week with Russia and one of his enemies, blown out of the sky. Wow, what a coincidence. Another guy that speaks out against Vladimir Putin finds themselves dead. This is what mobs do. This is what banana republics do. Did you ever think for speaking out, you could be arrested? It's coming. It's already happening to some. If you speak out against pro-life, you speak out for Donald Trump. Imagine being an attorney for Donald Trump. Who wants to be an attorney for Donald Trump? Well, I know John Adams would have. I know our founders would have, but nope. Not now, because they've sent the message. You're going to jail. We will bankrupt you. We will destroy you. Now, what is the crime in the actual charge? What is it based on? It is based on the attorney saying, if we want to make sure that we have the ability, this is in December, early December, have the ability to fight this, the Constitution is very clear. December 14th is the cutoff date. And so we must seat the other electors. We must have them seated and them documented. Otherwise, even if you find, hey, look, here's pictures of them actually throwing the election towards Biden, you could have all the proof you need. But if you don't have that second slate of electors, when it comes to January 6th, it doesn't matter because you have to have those people seated by December 14th. So the letter was, let's get these people seated in case, just in case. That was a conspiracy? Really? And then Donald Trump, they have to prove that he really didn't think he won the election. Donald Trump believes he won the election. 100%, totally, with everything in his being, with every hamburger he has eaten, with every gold faucet that he's ever put into any house or airplane, he believes it. So what you're doing is you are putting people in jail for questioning. When have we seen that before? Oh, COVID mandates. If you're questioning, you either need to be stoned in the public square or the police will arrest you. If you don't do what they say, well, here's a problem with that. What the experts say, we'll show you in a minute, is not the right thing most times right now. Before we get there, Donald Trump didn't show up to the debate this week, and I think that's what I would do if I were him. I agreed with his decision. I didn't like it, but I agreed with it. It's exactly what I would do. But when you don't have the front runner there, what message is that sending? Why did why did the GOP agree to let Fox News and then Fox Business host the first two debates? and then not allow anyone to play any clips from it. So the only people that saw the things in that debate were the ones who watched it, which are the most active. Fox News, in a move I've never, ever seen in my 40-some years of broadcast, I've never seen this. You can't play clips? Really? That's strange. Why? Don't question. The experts know what's best. Let me play a couple of things here for you. Our government is, you know what an abusive parent is? An abusive parent, really, truly, is one that you can't predict. One that you can't, you're always flinching because you don't know, are they on my side? Are they not on my side? When your kids flinch or worry, oh, don't say that. That's a sign that there's abuse there. I'm convinced that this government is not of, by, and for the people. It is of, by, and for the elites, and they have their own direction. And do they really care about you? Let me ask you, we had our biggest disaster in 100 years, fires. The FBI is coming out today with a list of, it's almost 1,100 names. Today I gave a story on the air about a mom who tried to get back to her house, was stopped several times. By the time she got there, the fire was raging so bad, but the fireman said, don't worry, we checked all these houses, nobody's there. She went to where her son should go if he was rescued or was safe, waited 2 days, and then she went back. And in her home, he hadn't been incinerated like so many. Instead, she found him in his bedroom, what was his bed, holding his dog. Now, we see stories like this, and Americans' hearts usually go out, and I think they still are. Mercury One, just our little band of brothers, we've already, because of you, put, I think, about $1.6 million into that tiny little community. That's a drop in the bucket. These people have no place to go, no place to sleep. When you saw Ron DeSantis with the hurricane, he had things mobilized rapidly. What do we have? We had FEMA on another island doing training programs and not responding. Then they sent people out from Washington, and they're staying at $1,100 to $2,000 hotel rooms a night. Way away, there's other hotels they could stay in. And then they don't really supply what is needed. In fact, I don't know for sure if it is denial or a good, skeptical, healthy attitude towards the government that is making people not want to give the FBI their DNA. This is how you're going to identify the bones. Most people are refusing to give it to the FBI. The FBI has come out and said, okay, listen, we're not going to use it. We will destroy it right away. Still will not give up their DNA. Is that the kind of trust that our government has earned? You're damn right it is. Watch this from Maui and CNN.
And right now, the Maui community is helping the Maui community. And it's really affected me because where's the president? He decides to come here this week, to come here next week. I mean, like, where aren't we Americans too? Like, we're part of the United States, but why are we getting put in the back pocket? Why are we being ignored?
Biden did come. And he talked about building back better and building better homes than you had. Listen to this resident.
And then, as far as building a better community or better homes than what we have, I unfortunately didn't like that because like for our Kupuna and the Lahaina family and for a lot of people that had lost what they had lost, there's no replacing that. There's no better, there's no new, there's no better than that, And, forgive me if I might have misunderstood him, but yeah, that didn't sit very well with my heart when he said that, yeah.
So you have people in need, and you have the governor coming out and saying that, maybe we're going to just take this land and we'll make it into memorial. Excuse me? Then telling these people who are struggling, who will be years before they can rebuild, they're then telling these same people that you can't sell your house. In fact, we're going to keep these sharks away from you. Wait a minute. What if I want to sell my house? Are you saying I can't sell my house now? Insult on injury? Are you kidding me? Who are you to say I can't sell my own personal private property because you're the governor? I mean, I like it, but, I like the fact that maybe the sharks are not going to come in and bother me every day. But are you telling me I can't? Are you telling me you're taking this land or buying it for something that is now part of FEMA's duty? They come back in, it's a way for them to build back better. That's their goal. It's also their goal to push people into cities and to reforest and to make it more natural anytime they can use an emergency. Speaking of emergencies, you have lies upon lies upon lies. During the debate, one of the things that they discussed was the crime in our cities. Do our betters, our ruling elites, really think we don't have eyes? Or do they know it doesn't matter anymore? Here's a Democratic mayor, and he is talking about how America is not, or she is, how America is not in decline. Listen.
So I would suggest that anybody thinks that this country is in decline, come to cities. Because Democratic mayors all across the nation are creating great places where people want to be, where growth is happening, and where our economy is growing.
Really? I mean, have you seen New York? Los Angeles, Chicago, Detroit. I mean, we could continue. That's not the truth. It's just not the truth. When the government stops telling you the truth, it becomes propaganda. When propaganda becomes accepted, then unfortunately, for the whales on the beach, it becomes the truth. And you never get out of that cycle. I want to show you why this all matters in 60 seconds. First, let me tell you about my Patriot Supply. Sometimes it feels like everything is going to be great. And then other times it feels like, man, something is right around the corner. I don't know what's around the corner. I can tell you, if history is our guide, and it doesn't have to be this way, if history is our guide, we are in for a pretty bad 2024, really bad. This is one of the reasons why I think it's smart to have some emergency food on hand. Bacon has gone up, or pork bellies, where we get bacon, has gone up 100% since the beginning of summer. 100%. You're going to be paying a lot more for bacon. A lot of people aren't going to be able to afford bacon. My Patriot Supply, they're the nation's leader in high-quality emergency food. You keep it on hand for when things go south. Head over to my website, preparewithglenn.com, preparewithglenn.com. Save over $200 on your 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. It's good, it's healthy, it locks in the price of food today and will give you the things you need under optimum stress. Preparewithglenn.com. Go there now. Okay. I saw this news report earlier this week. Watch.
A surge in COVID-19 cases has led to pandemic-era mandates returning to some places.
Yeah, mask mandates are making a comeback in some parts of the nation as a new subvariant rises. While infection rates are nowhere near pandemic levels, this spike in cases has doctors on alert and warning against panic, though. Many remind the public to practice good hygiene by washing their hands frequently.
Warning against panic? Who's panicked? I haven't been panicked since the 15 days after the 15 days to flatten the curve. Then I became panicked about something else called big government. Here's Fauci on this. Watch.
Our immunity has been waning after the boosters, and hospitalizations are slightly up. There are no masks I see in the community, and when I wear one, when I'm at the airport or in the flight, I see people laughing at me. What are your thoughts on that? And any thoughts on what to expect in terms of the flu, RSV, COVID moving into the fall?
Well, first of all, you had about 7 questions there, but that's good. I'll try to succinctly answer. First of all, we are not done with COVID. We know that. I mean, if you look at just the last couple of weeks, that the number of cases last week are 12% greater than they were the week before and 25% greater than they were 2 weeks ago. We have an uptick in cases and in hospitalizations and in deaths. It isn't anywhere nearly as bad as it was a year and a half ago. So we're not saying we're in an explosive surge.
But we are saying that maybe we should start to have masks back, and some places are starting to talk about lockdowns again. The Surgeon General of Florida said yesterday that maybe you should just say no to that. These things will happen until the American people say no, not now or never will it happen again. No. COVID, this scam, this has lost so much credibility. And we are now entering a time where science and experts and everybody has so damaged their credibility. I don't know who is going to possibly listen to them. And this is trouble because there are experts that are needed. Science cannot be thrown out the window. There are now movements all around the world. Here in America, there are movements as well that talk in coded language, that talk about the end of modernity. What does that mean? The end of the modern era. And they define the modern era as starting with the Enlightenment. What was the Enlightenment? Asking questions, being able to ask questions. No matter what it was, you could scientifically ask questions, measure the results, and disagree with one another. That's what the Enlightenment was. There are people and forces now wanting to roll back and bring us back to the Dark Ages. And I'm not exaggerating. That is truly what they are advocating for. And the more and more these people discredit institutions, discredit science, discredit everything for the almighty dollar or for their own corrupt lifestyle for their family, the worse it's going to get. And when it crashes, the more angry people will get, and the more we will forget probably about God. And we'll want somebody to deal with it. Well, you have that somebody to deal with it. In Russia, they have that somebody to deal with it. I can't imagine we are on the verge of war. We are, was it next week or in a couple of weeks, we are beginning to teach the people in Ukraine, the pilots in Ukraine, how to fly F-16s. This is something that our dawdling president said at the very beginning. You start teaching F-16s and giving them F-16s, well then, that's World War III. Man, I mean, are you kidding? No joke. That's World War III. He knows that. We are now preparing. We are dealing with a guy who is it's a mobster. Vladimir Putin is a mobster. He is a monster and a mobster. You don't cross him or he takes you out. Even the president acknowledged this. Watch this week.
Do you have a reaction to the plane crash in Russia?
I was asked about this by you. I said I'd be careful what I drink and what I wrote in. I don't know for a fact what happened, but I'm not surprised.
Do you believe?
There's not much that happens when Russia is not behind, but I don't know enough to know the answer. I've been working out for the last hour and a half.
I've been working out. What a workout that must have been. I've been working out for the last hour and a half, so he's not up on whether Putin killed one of his opponents or not. We do know for a fact that Putin, this monster, usually starts with putting his opponents in prison. He also then moves on to making sure he makes it illegal to speak out about the things that Putin says is true. Is there any real difference in the direction that we are headed? I guess that's for us to figure out before it's too late and what could be the final election of our republic as we know it happens. Night, see you Monday.